Good evening. It is March 1st, and welcome to Cape Media News, your source for hyperlocal news that matters. I'm Lauren Williamson. At the most recent Select Board meeting, Town Clerk Emily Mitchell addressed the community with news on the upcoming Harwich Town election. Having reached the deadline, only one candidate has stepped forward to run for the vacant Select Board member position. During the meeting, the Select Board also addressed the logistics of the election, deciding on voting hours that may accommodate the diverse community of Harwich.
So I did want to come before you this evening to give you some updates on the special town election. As you know, it is scheduled for April 9th of 2024. It has the sole office of the Select Board vacancy. The seat will expire on May 21st at the annual town election. Last week was the deadline for any interested candidates to file completed nomination papers. We did have one candidate return papers, so we now know at this point we'll have one candidate for the one open seat. So now that we're kind of aware of what the ballot will look like and what the candidate field will look like, it felt like an appropriate time to come back to you to discuss election day polling hours. So for local elections, the Select Board does have the authority, more authority than with a state or federal election, to set or restrict hours.
I'd move that we approve polling hours from noon to 6.
It's really important in a community that's got a mixture of retirees and people who actually work and come back, that they have the opportunity at the end of the day to be able to vote. So anything that was like 12 to 4 was a non-starter.
So I'll go with noon to 6. I was even thinking, noon to 7. And I think I just, people getting out of work at 5, I just get concerned. I don't want anyone to feel like they don't have the ability to vote. So, but if the majority feel that noon to 6 is the best timing, I would go along with that. So we've got a motion and a second. So all in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
So who is the lone candidate running for Select Board? Pete Picari, a familiar name to many in Harwich, will be running unopposed in the upcoming election. Last year, Picari ran for the same position, but lost to the current Select Board members Don Howell and Jeff Handler. However, during a candidates forum, he shared his vision for the town.
I'm running because I can make a positive contribution to the board. My civic and professional background afford me the opportunity to hit the ground running. My desire to do what's in the best interest of Harwich without any hidden agenda will serve the residents well. My proven track record of being a fiscal conservative and my belief in an open and transparent government can only help balance the board. Additionally, I have real concerns about the economy. An economy that has not only seen record inflation, but has also seen the feds raise rates at a historic pace. We continue on this roller coaster ride with the elimination of what I term the manufactured federal monies that in all likelihood exacerbated this inflation. The elimination of these monies, without a doubt, will reduce the historically high revenue surpluses at the state and local levels, not to mention have a direct impact on discretionary spending on the individuals that were relying on that income. The town of Harwich and the taxpayers will ultimately feel these reductions. My desire is to help minimize the potential tax implications and allow the fixed income and lifelong residents of Harwich to remain in their homes. For these reasons and many others is why I decided to run for office again. Thank you.
Set your leprechaun traps. The 19th annual St. Patrick's Parade will be on Saturday, March 9th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This year's theme is myth and music. The fanfare will include the dancers from Fireborn Performance Arts, Ancient Mariners Kinetic Fife and Drum Corps, Highland Light Scottish Pipe Band, and the Wolf Tones Band, amongst many more. The parade procession will begin at Skull Island at Bass River Sports World in Yarmouth, head down Route 28, and finish at the 99 restaurant. Floats in the parade have the opportunity to win one of 4 awards: Most Whimsical, Most Artistic, Best Representation of Parade Theme, and Most Spectacular. If your business would like to enter a float in the parade, head to Cape Cod stpatricksparade.com. See you there. The town of Yarmouth has announced that the official groundbreaking ceremony for the wastewater project will take place on Thursday, March 14th at 10 a.m. at 170 South Shore Drive. The groundbreaking ceremony marks the start of Phase 1 of the Yarmouth Wastewater Project, which officials are calling a significant milestone in the town's environmental and economic development efforts. This first phase will include the construction of the new water resource recovery facility, 5 pumping stations, 11 miles of sewer mains, and a main gravity sewer inceptor along Route 28 from the Barnstable Town line to the Dennis Town line. Town Administrator Robert Whitenauer called this, quote, a truly historic event for our community that speaks volumes for the future of our town, and we're proud to be at this crossroad in our history. Harwich is seeking community input for the 2024 Local Comprehensive Plan. The Local Comprehensive Plan serves as a guide for the town's future growth and resource protection. Harwich officials are inviting community perspectives on various topics to identify best ways to support the community's growth and well-being. These meetings are held on Saturday, March 23rd from 10 a.m. to 12 at the Cultural Center Library, and Saturday, April 6th from 1 to 3 at the Community Center. If you'd like more information about the meetings or about the Local Comprehensive Plan, visit the town website at harwich-ma.gov. Coming up after the break, a look into the DY School District budget. Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Lauren Williamson. The DY Regional School District has been putting the final touches on the FY25 budget this month. But due to what administration is calling a perfect storm, initial projections had the operating budget coming in at just over a 9% increase. Since then, the administration has made additional cuts to bring the increase down to 6.7%. But the select boards of both Yarmouth and Dennis are still not happy with the numbers. Take a look.
So, I've talked about multiple times about this idea of sort of a perfect storm, these factors that have been influencing the FY25 budget. The staff-related contractual obligations and cost of living increases that are associated with extending our school day in pre-K through grade 8. The second is that the district post-COVID for the last 2+ years, the district has received a significant influx of what's called the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief, or ESSER for short, funds. These were funds that came directly from the federal government post-COVID that have supplemented a lot of our educational needs, a lot of the staffing needs in particular. And these funds are all coming to an end at the end of this particular fiscal year that we're in right now. And then everybody has seen upward inflationary pressure in their household. Schools are not exempt from that upward inflationary pressure. We've seen them on transportation. I already talked about salaries. We see, all the same things that you see on housing, food, et cetera. Our staff see those same pressures, right? And in order to keep and retain staff, we need to adjust salaries accordingly. And then the fourth factor that was added in our last presentation is we got our state aid information, and David was holding a conservative number, and the state aid information on the governor's budget came in lower than we had anticipated.
The amount of money that we've reserved for the school budget increase in the DY district so far has been $971,210. That's a 2.5% increase. Now, that leaves a shortfall balance for Yarmouth of $1.7 million, roughly, a little over that. And in scouring our budgets, one of the issues that comes up is that we've also reserved an increase, same percentage, for the Cape Cod Tech budget. Now, their assessment has come in just under $300,000 less than what we've set aside for them. So I would propose first and foremost that the town of Yarmouth has the ability to increase the contribution above the 2.5% that we've reserved by $300,000. And that is from the funds that we have left over from the Cape Cod Tech Reserve that they didn't need. So it doesn't come out of public safety departments or anything. And in addition, I think it's critically important that if we're addressing a big part of this problem comes from the loss of these federal funds, that what we're looking for from the school department is a step-down use of their own surplus, which they generated, quite honestly, as a result of having those extra ESSER funds in. If you recall, last year, we had a level of the excess and deficiency fund in the school district that was at a historically high level, in excess, in fact, of what the state allowance is. And in addressing that, we partnered with the school department to create a stabilization fund for capital for the school of, it was 2.2 million that they kept in their stabilization, which they have now.
I think we have to bring up that dreaded word that nobody wants to use, is compromise. You know, we're going to have to compromise here.
And so I don't see how this goes without some kind of override. And the question is whether or not we're going to even be on the same page as that. There needs to be a lot more dialogue, a lot more discussion, a lot more interaction among the key players to get us to that point. Right now, I'm not optimistic. I think we're very far apart. And it's going to take some really some heroic efforts to try to turn the situation around. It's like watching a slow motion train wreck.
I stated, I think that one of the consensuses from our board was that we had hoped that the school committee would use some of their, I'll call it free cash, I forget what they call it.
E&D.
E&D, thank you. Oh, Brian, I should ask you. Use some of their E&D.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah, use some of their E&D to lower the number, which is what our board had requested, again, consensus-wise. So, I kind of agree with Jim. I mean, we can weigh in on something, and they don't even want to talk about it. So I think we wait and see what they discuss, and then talk about it then.
Yeah, I'd like to see us keep an open mind, and also maybe it's time to collaborate with Yarmouth as the two boards, the two select boards. Maybe it's time, once we get the final number, to set up a meeting between the two boards. We support them and they support us, and we support the schools. But it has to be a collaborative between all three people. And I think that's what we need to look for, is a collaborative working relationship between the three. And comments from school committee members that say, I don't care what the finance committee says, I don't care what the board of selectmen say, are inappropriate and are very antagonistic towards, I believe, this board and the finance committee. So I think we should be looking to maybe have a joint meeting with the two boards once we find out what the numbers are.
Looking for a last-minute Boston Marathon qualification? Runners in the Hyannis Marathon will be setting off from the Cape Cod Irish Village at 10 a.m. on Sunday, March 3rd. The marathon course takes a picturesque route beginning at the Irish Village, passing by Veterans Beach, Calmus Keys, Eugenia Fortes, and Craigville Beach, around Old Post Road to Strawberry Hill Road, and down Old Town Road, concluding at the Hyannis Resort and Conference Center. Both the marathon and the half marathon courses are USATF certified, with the marathon course being a Boston qualifier. While online registration has already closed, participants can try registering in person on Saturday and Sunday, providing spots are available. Registration fees vary. For more information, you can head to hyannismarathon.com. Barnstable Youth Commission is presenting its 8th annual Youth Job Fair at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center on Wednesday, March 6th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the gym. Dozens of local and national businesses are participating to help students find both summer and year-round employment opportunities. Mass Hire will be available to assist students with any questions about the basics of looking for a job, filling out applications, interviewing, understanding labor laws, and obtaining work permits. Businesses that have already signed up include Barnstable Recreation, AmeriCorps, Cape Cod, Cape Cod Resort and Spa, CORD, Craigville Retreat Center, Four Seas Ice Cream, Hyannis Whale Watcher Cruises, Candy Corner, and dozens more. If your business is interested in participating, there are still spots left. Contact Amy Harwood at amy.harwood@town.barnstable.ma.us for more information. Students are not required to register prior to the event, and admission is free. Last Sunday, Aaron Bushnell, a 25-year-old serviceman of the United States Air Force, committed an act of self-immolation outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., in protest against the Israeli war in Gaza. Bushnell grew up in Orleans. After attending Nauset High School, he began his career with the Air Force. Recently, he worked as a DevOps engineer in San Antonio, Texas, where he was actively involved in the community, volunteering in mutual aid groups that provide support for the homeless. According to his friends, Bushnell was passionate about helping those in need. And an online post last year said, it's, quote, not too late for you or anyone. We can have the world of our dreams tomorrow, but we have to be willing to fight today, end quote. In his final statement delivered immediately before his protest, Aaron stated, quote, I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I am about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it is not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal: free Palestine. Bushnell left his life savings to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Coming up after the break, SNAP benefits scam. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Lauren Williamson. Are you a user of SNAP benefits or other economic assistance? Be aware of scams. Residents across the state are speaking out about stolen funds from their electronic benefit transfer, or EBT cards. The Department of Transitional Assistance, or DTA, has issued a warning cautioning EBT card users about the rise in scams targeting their benefits. These scams, ranging from skimming to phishing, have left many vulnerable to theft. Skimming, a form of theft where criminals attach devices to card swiping machines, is one method used to copy card information. This can be seen anywhere an EBT is swiped, including store card machines and ATMs. Meanwhile, phishing involves thieves contacting individuals through text or phone calls, tricking them into revealing confidential information. Once obtained, this information is used to create fake EBT cards, which are then used to siphon money or SNAP benefits from legitimate accounts. To safeguard your benefits, it's important to take proactive measures, like changing your EBT card PIN regularly. Furthermore, never divulge personal information, EBT card numbers, or PINs to any unknown callers or through suspicious links provided by text or email. If you suspect your benefits have been stolen, it is imperative to contact DTA immediately and change your PIN. Reporting fraud promptly is crucial in preventing further losses. Now we'll hand it off to Ryan Downs for another week of sports.
Thanks, Lauren. The postseason for Cape teams started off with Barnstable's matchup against Weymouth on Tuesday night. The environment was electric as the Weymouth crowd chanted on most possessions in the game. Barnstable faced offensive challenges early on, grappling with turnovers, blocked and missed shots, and difficulties in transition, leading to a score of Weymouth 26, Barnstable 13 at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, Barnstable settled in and tightened up on defense and forced tougher shots. Offensively, they found their rhythm, controlling the pace, executing plays, and making the extra pass for better shot opportunities. The team closed out the first half on a strong 17-7 run, cutting Weymouth's lead to just 4 points, with a score of Weymouth 40, Barnstable 36. Barnstable came out of the halftime break with a clear plan, implementing a full-court press on defense and dictating the pace of the game. They managed to take their first lead of the game with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The score at the end of the third quarter was Weymouth 54, Barnstable 50. Facing adversity, Barnstable found themselves down by 10 points with 2 minutes left in the game. Despite losing their guard, Karan Ford to injury, the team narrowed the gap and made a tough and one basket with 15 seconds left to bring the score to 66-63. The final score was Weymouth 67, Barnstable 63. Although falling short, their comeback efforts and tenacity left a lasting impression. Congrats to them on a great season. Moving on to Wednesday, in a thrilling matchup at Charles Moore, the Nauset Monomoy girls hockey team secured a 6-1 victory over Dennis Yarmouth. In the first period, Sienna Reeves initiated the scoring spree with the breakaway goal, giving Nauset Monomoy a 1-0 lead just 3 minutes into it. Julia Kipperman doubled the lead off a rebound, making it 2-0 with 9:13 left in the first. Then Carly Brand extended the lead to 3-0 at the 8:18 mark. And Sophia Boucher capitalized on another rebound, assisted by Julia Kipperman and Gabby Bassett, making it 4-0 midway through the first period. DY managed to pull one back with the goal, reducing the lead to 4-1 with just under 3 minutes to go in the opening period. In the second period, Sophia Boucher scored her second goal, assisted by Julia Kipperman, making it 5-1 with 5:34 remaining in the second period. Then in the third, Gabby Bassett found the net, assisted by Julia Kipperman and Sophia Boucher, securing a 6-1 lead early in the third period. The final score was Nauset Monomoy 6, Dennis Yarmouth 1. Nauset Monomoy girls hockey advances to the round of 16 and is set to host Sandwich this Saturday at 4:30 at the Charles Moore Arena. Following the girls' game, the Nauset boys hockey team also emerged triumphant with a commanding 6-0 win against Diamond RVT. Logan Poulin set the tone and gave Nauset an early 1-0 lead, scoring 3 minutes into the game just like the girls' team, only it ended up being the lone goal of the first period. In the second period, Jake Eldridge scored a goal during a 4-on-4 situation, giving Nauset a 2-0 lead. And it wasn't until the third period that the floodgates opened, and it started with Colin Ward extending the lead to 3-0 with the lone goal. Then Jake Eldridge added his second goal, making it 4-0 with 7 minutes left. Shortly after, Logan Poulin netted his second goal and extended the lead to 5-0 with 6 minutes left. And Logan Poulin completed a hat trick as he scored another one and sealed the victory at 6-0. The Nauset boys hockey advances to the round of 16 and is set to host the winner of the Bedford-Marlborough game this Saturday at 6 p.m. in the Charles Moore Arena. The 29th ranked Barnstable girls hockey team also traveled to Malden on Wednesday to face the number 4th ranked team, Malden Catholic. The game started with intense competition, resulting in a 0-0 tie after the first period, as both teams showcased strong defensive play. Barnstable managed to break the deadlock, securing a 1-0 lead by the end of the second period. And holding on to their lead for the majority of the game, Barnstable fought tooth and nail against the higher-ranked Malden Catholic. Then, in a turn of events, Malden Catholic mounted a comeback, scoring a goal in the last 2 minutes of regulation. The game extended into overtime, and Malden Catholic ultimately secured a 2-1 victory, ending Barnstable's playoff journey. As for the remaining games, both DY boys and girls basketball programs traveled to Tantasquwa tonight. The 20th ranked DY girls will play the 13th ranked Tantasquwa girls, first at 5 p.m. Then scheduled for a 6:45 tip-off, the 24th ranked DY boys take on the 9th ranked Tantasquwa boys. Lastly, the 15th seeded Monomoy boys basketball team will play host to the 18th ranked Cathedral team from Boston at 6 p.m. on Friday as well. That's it for this week's sports update. Back to you, Lauren.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you have a story that you'd like to see covered, send us an email at newstip@capemedia.org. Tune in every week for more hyperlocal news that matters on Channel 26, Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media, including Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. For Cape Media News, as always, I'm Lauren Williamson.